Oh boy, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Buckles Locker. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos that are created on this video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on the channel. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it, folks. Let's get to it. We're gonna get right into it. You already know what time it is. You know me. Good, bad, and the ugly. The good, or the great, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's gonna be a great conversation. I'm not gonna take all y'all time. You know what I'm talking about? Start kicking on 2025 season off with the first recap video. Let's get this thing started. Let's get live. Y'all see the title. Y'all see the description box. Try to add some stuff to the description box this year. Be a little more interactive. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more like that. So this is a recap of Sunday afternoon victory against the Atlanta Falcons, 23-20. It was a tough victory, tough road victory. Teams are pretty much almost evenly matched. But before I start that, I always do that. I gotta do a better job behind that. I gotta stop that. I gotta stop that. I gotta acknowledge my peoples first. You know what I'm talking about? Man, watch it. We ain't got time for all that ha ha ha, I told you so stuff. We ain't doing that. I think a lot of us had the Bucs winning. I had the Bucs winning 27-24. There's a few other people too had the Bucs winning, which is good. Hillsboro 813, Big Buck, what up, man? Young DZ, Dark Vader, Big, Rashad West. Relax, man. You do this every year. Same stuff with you, man. I'm about to put you on. I'm about to block you. You do the same stuff every year. The Bucs win, here you come. And then the Bucs lose, you know where to be found. But excuses. Come on, you gotta do better this year, man. Do better this year. There's no ha ha moment, man. Clack 5 White, 813, Sandoval 813, A-Rod, Young DZ, I see what the $5 super chat. Young DZ, $5 super chat. Fight week, Isaiah. Who you got, Bud or Canelo? I'm going with Bud, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you why, real quick. If you go to Mexico or in America and you ask any fan or any of them fans, who you going with, Canelo or Bud? 99% of the Mexicans are going to pick Canelo. 99% of the Mexican fans is going to pick Canelo. They're going to ride. See, the thing about Mexicans, they're going to ride and die with their fighter. That's one thing about America. We go against our fighter quite a bit, and that's embarrassing. We will pick against our own fighter. Even when Earl Spence fought Mikey Garcia, you had the Mexicans picking Mikey Garcia. Danny Garcia fought Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. I'm going with Danny Garcia. Like, they do not go against their fighter. Jose Cepeda, when he fought Shakur Stevenson. Oh, Jose Cepeda is going to give Shakur Stevenson problems. Cotto fighting Floyd Mayweather. I mean, that's Puerto Rican, but you get what I'm saying. Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao, even though he's not Mexican. But the point is, Mexicans, they ride or die for their fighters, their countrymen. They ride or die. Americans do not do that. Americans too finicky. And I ain't gonna go into details behind that because I can go really deep behind that. But you get where I'm going with that. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm going with Bud. Bucks Life. Marlon, what's up, man? Damien. William, what's up, man? Bucks Live, Jay Ellis. Yeah, Tony Lee, what's up, man? A-Rod, $5 super chat. Did you see 35 take a pay cut? I did. I'm gonna talk about that too. Hold on now. We gotta get to the. I ain't gonna be in here too long. I got things to do now. I ain't trying to take up y'all time. I'm gonna try to keep these videos, nice time frame. Not this year. I'm not gonna sit on here during the week for an hour or 2 hours like that, unless it's some like juicy information. But I'm gonna try to condense this as quick as possible. I don't want to hold y'all too long. Noble OG, what's up, man? Stephen Quintana. Well, the thing about with some of the Mexican Americans, they kind of fed up with Canelo because Canelo keeps fighting everybody else but David Benavidez. Like a lot of the Mexican Americans, they want to see Canelo fight Bivol. They want to see Canelo fight Bertobito. They want to see Canelo fight David Benavidez, and he keeps avoiding these guys, and he keeps fighting Amir Khans, the Crawfords, the Jamel Charlos, the Billy Joe Saunders, the Caleb Plants, John Ryder, Edgar Berlanga, Manguia. Like, we didn't ask for those fights. The thing about Canelo, he keeps fighting everybody except what we keep asking. We keep telling him, fight these dudes. He fights everybody else but the dudes that he's supposed to be fighting. And then he wants to walk around and says he's the best, he's the all-time great, he's the best Mexican fighter, which I don't think he is. I don't think he's the best Mexican fighter because he keeps ducking and dodging. He didn't fight Andre at 154 and 160 or 168. He didn't fight Jamal Charlo in his prime at 154 and 160, right? He didn't fight Benavidez at 168 or 175. He fought Bivol and lost. He didn't fight Bertobito. He keeps fighting everybody else but the people William Scully. He fought William Scully. Nobody asked for that fight. Nobody asked for that fight. He fought Kovalev, a washed up Kovalev at 175. Nobody asked for those fights. We wanted to see Canelo fight Demetrius Andre, Jamar Charlo, Bivol number 2, Artur Bertobito. We want to see him fight those dudes. He didn't fight nobody at 154 and one. He fought Golovkin 3 times. He fought Golovkin 3 times. He should have lost the first one. The second one was close, and the third one was pointless. But he's trying to convince everybody that he's the guy at 168, 175. But we know for a fact he didn't want to fight Marcus Brown at 175. He knows he picks and chooses on who he wants to fight and who he thinks he can dominate. He thought Bivol was a cherry pick. He thought Dimitri Bivol was a cherry pick. It was a cherry pick that went wrong, which is the reason why he did not want to fight Demetrius Andre at 154 and 160, which is the reason why he didn't want to give Lara a rematch at 154 or even at 160. But he'll fight a small guy any day, all day, every day. But he skipped all those guys at 168 and 175 to fight somebody coming up that started at 135, then went to 140, then 147. Had one fight at 154 and jumps all the way up to 168. Oh, he'll fight those dudes. That's why I don't pay Canelo no mind, man. It's ridiculous. Like, you cherry picking fighters, man. Fight the guys that we want to see you fight. If he would have fought Demetrius Andre, he would have lost. Demetrius Andre is a bigger version of Erislandy Lara. He was not going to beat Demetrius Andre at 154 or 160. He knew that. He was not going to beat Jamal Charlo at 154 and 160. He knew that as well. He didn't want to give Lara a rematch. He didn't want to fight David Benavidez for a reason, folks. He didn't want to give Bivol a rematch, even though he got waxed by Bivol. And he showed when he wasn't going to fight. He wasn't going to fight Artur Bertobito, but he was going to go up to 160. He was going to go up to cruiserweight and fight an unknown dude at cruiserweight. Ducking and dodging the best fighters, man, in his weight class, 168, 175, but fighting the dude from 154. Man, don't give me that. I'm going for Bud. I don't care about none of that. Watch out. Anyway, Yeah, I seen the number 35 restructure his contract. Roy, Trill G Boy 2, King Cook, what's up, buddy? All right, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. All right, let's get to the recap here. So the recap, watching highlights, and kind of like all 22 and things like that. I'm not gonna go all into that. This is like a recap video and a touch on a couple other things. I was at the game. I was live at the game. Like I said, I always say being at the games live versus being in person is a different feel, a different perspective. I always tell everybody if you got a chance to get to the game, at least one game a year. And it'll kind of give you a better idea and better talking points versus just coming in and just saying random stuff and listening to what other people say. You know what I'm saying? Or if you can't go to the game, try to get all 22. Try to get all 22. That way you can break the game down and just stop listening to commentators and just trying to get your own narrative, your own thought process, right? Stop being a parrot. Don't be a parrot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that game was really good. Like I said, I was at the game. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium is a really good stadium. Very cheap food. A lot of different selection of food. Very cheap. Good too. It's a clean stadium. I gotta say this though, and I know some fans might not agree with me when I say this, but I've been to a few stadiums, and right now the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the best stadium I've been to so far. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Just from the entertainment, the look, the cleanness, the prices. It wasn't even that bad to get into the game. And the Bucs hot dog. I did a little research. The Bucs hot dog is like $8 and some change, which is like in the top 10 as far as the most expensive hot dog. Atlanta is like bottom 5 as far as expensive hot dog. That's just give you an idea how the food prices is between Mercedes-Benz and Raymond James. So the Bucs got to do a better job. They got to do a better job as far as their stage presentation. Their stadium presentation is not good enough. They're behind. It's like outdated. I love going to the stadium. I love looking at the ship and all that stuff like that. But they gotta get with the program. You know what I'm saying? They gotta catch up to other teams. Like the fan experience is not the best at Raymond James Stadium. You know what I'm saying? Like which is the reason why the Raymond James Stadium don't get a lot of big events, like the college football games and things like that. Mercedes-Benz, they continue to get these big events because it looks better. It just looks better. Like in Tampa, it's not even close. Food prices, drink prices, tickets, the fan experience, the entertainment, just the look of the stadium. Like the Glazer family, they got to get their weight up, man. I'm gonna start right there. They got to get their weight up. Get your weight up with the stadium look, man. Get a roof over the stadium. You know what I'm talking about? Start there first. Get a retractable roof. Where you can see up top, you can see outside. Even with the roof closed, and get a better sound system. Get some more commodities and some entities in there that you know what I'm saying. Like Atlanta, man, in that game, Bow Wow was there, T.I. was there. I think who else was there? Bone Crush. Like all these folks was showing up in that. All of them was there. It's like a whole concert in that stadium. You know what I'm talking about? So, but yeah, let's get to the game real quick. I ain't got too long here. So here's my thoughts of the game. The Bucs did a great job getting a tough road victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Divisional win. Like I said, both teams were pretty much evenly matched. The Atlanta Falcon fans are going to kick themselves because when they look at the stats, remember stats don't tell everything, but when they look at the stats, they outplayed the Bucs. But the Bucs outplayed them in key moments based on what I saw. There was key moments where the defense stepped up. Baker stepped up. Emeka with the 2 touchdown catches. Baker had some clutch throws. He didn't play great as the whole. The Atlanta Falcons defense gave Baker Mayfield major problems. And I'll get to that in other videos. Cause for concern, but not right now. It's still too early for that because of the OC, first year OC play calling, because he had a hard time getting a feel for the game. The running game was very, very below average. It was like he didn't know what to call as far as with Bucky and Rachaad White and Sean Tucker. Each one of them had a decent run. Each one of them had one good run. Outside of those 3 runs, the Bucs rushing attack was non-existent, which was disappointing too. But you have to get credit where it's due. Atlanta made the upgrades on defense. The defensive line got some pressure. They stopped the run. It just in key moments the Bucs did a better job. That was the difference of the game. I know Younghoe missed the kick. Oh, by the way, Atlanta Falcon fans, Raheem Morris finally bought in kicking competition. He finally bought somebody in to, for this week, because you can't trust Younghoe. You can't trust him anymore. Younghoe is just basically y'all remember for the Bucs, y'all remember Matt Gay, right? When Matt Gay missed 11 kicks in 2019. Younghoe is in that category now. He used to be a good kicker, but now he's just like, you can't rely on him. The same way we looked at Matt Gay is the same way the Atlanta Falcons fans looking at Younghoe. When he lined up the kick, a lot of people didn't have faith in that. They wanted to catch that touchdown. They wanted Hodge to catch that touchdown. We'll get to that in a second with number 35. But in totality of the game, the Bucs was very spotty. They were good in moments, but that's not going to be the best plan of action throughout the season. You can get away with games like that when you kind of like better in certain areas or more experienced or whatever. But in the long term, the Bucs will clean some of those things up. I think a lot of those things, to me, based on what I saw, what does your eyes tell you? The Bucs will clean up a lot of those things. When you get Tristan back, they had Graham Barton playing tackle and things like that. All that stuff will get cleaned up once everybody gets healthy. With Tristan getting healthy, Godwin's supposed to come back like week 5. J Mac probably about week 8, 9, or 10ish. So a lot of this stuff get cleaned up. What I saw, like, because it was sloppy, and it was dangerous too. Like, I'm glad that this happening now for the Bucs, where they can clean a lot of this stuff up. So if I had to give them an overall grade after reviewing the tape and just kind of adding the numbers up, looking at tape, I'm gonna give the Bucs a C. I'm gonna give the Bucs a C. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so spotty in the run game, it didn't even play a factor in the victory, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the run game didn't even play a factor in the victory, so that's a good thing. The fact that we were able to win this game, or say we, but the Bucs was able to win this game without having a significant impact from the running game. In Atlanta, they were on it. Family first, 04. Archie, what's up? The Bucs running game was shut down. Atlanta Falcons, they made some changes on the defense, some pass rushers, some D linemen. You know what I'm saying? It showed. And then, but the Bucs fought through that. Baker had some really good scrambles. Baker. One of Baker things that's underrated, is his escapability. Like, Baker escaped some of those sacks. Now, early in the game, he kept scrambling to the right, like he kept bailing from the pocket versus kind of stepping up in the pocket and scrambling. He kept running to the right in Atlanta. That was like by design. But as the game went along, Baker saw that in third and fourth quarter, especially in the fourth quarter, he had a couple key scrambles. But he was our leading rusher, that's not going to happen moving forward, like consistently. But he kind of saved the game in spots. But on the flip side, now remember I said about the Bucs offense, right? They're going to be fine. My main concern was the Bucs defense. So in this game, the Bucs defense did a really good job stopping Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier in the run game. Granted, just like the Bucs had Tristan Wirfs hurt and Graham Barton playing tackle and things like that, Atlanta had some issues on their O-line too, which changed the play calling, because they was trying to run the ball, but when your top right tackle is out, your backup right tackle is out, you're missing I think your left guard. But they couldn't run the ball. Kalaji Clancy, it looks like he's gotten stronger, but it helps when he's playing next to Vita. But he was holding his own against the run game. Now, overall, he didn't flash, And the reason why I'm bringing him up because I was like, he got to get better against the run. And here we go. First game of the season, we're playing a top 10 rushing attack. Now, I think over the season, I think Atlanta rushing attack will be good, right? I think we can all agree with that, along with the Bucs rushing attack. I think both teams rushing attack will be top 10, top 12, you know what I'm saying? Because they got both teams got good running backs, good rushing attack. So and both teams did a great job against the rush. You know what I'm saying? The Bucs did a hell of a job in containing Bijan Robinson. Like the Bucs were hell bent on Bijan, you will not beat us running the ball. You know what I'm saying? And it was frustrating for the Falcons fans and Bijan because they were trying to find holes. But like I said, their left guard and their right tackle, that's going to be an issue. And they'll probably figure it out because that situation, the left guard and the right tackle, it even affected the play calling from Zach Robinson, which played right into the Bucs' hand. They couldn't really like get in the rhythm as far as offensively. They didn't really get into a rhythm until like late third, fourth quarter when Michael Penix started throwing the ball a lot. But the throws was very quick. But Kalijah Clancy did a great job against the run. That combination of him and Vita, like Kalijah Clancy gets up in the pads because he's short. You know what I'm saying? And once he gets some leverage, once you get leverage, it doesn't matter how strong you is. Once somebody got leverage on you, you're not gonna win. But he did a great job. I'm looking forward to seeing him moving forward. Because first week of the season, great, but we know over time we want to see a consistency, right? But as far as rushing the passer, didn't have a big impact on that. Logan Hall got washed in a couple plays, but of course, like I said, with Vita and Kalijah Clancy causing havoc in that D line, Logan Hall did a good job holding the front up against the run. Now, as far as pass rush, Hassan Reddick, he had some moments, but he was going against a third string right tackle. He had like 7 pressures, I believe. But like I said, it was going against a third string right tackle. So I don't know how much stock you can put into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much stock you can put into the winning against a third string right tackle. That if Caleb McGarry was playing or Storm Johnson was playing still not healthy, Wilkinson wouldn't be playing at all. He probably wouldn't be on the roster. So basically, they was playing with a right tackle that shouldn't even be on the roster. So that's what kind of affected their run game to the right and their passing game because they was looking to take deep shots, but they had to change up the scheme. You know what I'm talking about? And Hassan Reddick, he had his moments. He had that sack, right? Because he beat the right tackle inside. That was a good move by him. But it's a third string right tackle. And Todd Bowles, from what I've seen, was trying to move him around. Like, I don't know if they're trying to make him like this, great value Mika Parsons type thing or Abdul Carter type situation, but they trying to you could see Todd Bowles trying some new stuff, trying to move him around a little bit and get him some matchup, but it worked and it was very spotty. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to move Hassan Reddick around. But like I said, it was in spots. And like I said, it was a third string right tackle he was going against. And as the season goes, I'm looking forward to him causing those type of issues against somebody that's equal, like as far as talent wise, like a good right tackle or a second tier right tackle or a top tier right tackle. That's when you're really going to see the impact of Hassan Reddick. But his impact was felt in spots. Yaya Diaby, he had some spots too. Probably a couple times that he was a half a second or a second too late. When you're half a second or a second too late, that doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? The ball's gone already, right? But what I will say on the flip side is that overall the D-line did a good job. Let me just say that overall did a good job. They didn't get a lot of sacks, but they affected the game by stopping the run. Now, which led into the Falcons or Michael Penix passing a lot, right? And he had a good game passing the ball, right? The Bucs made it tough for him though, throwing the ball, but he was just putting some nice throws in there too. The secondary, I'm going in faces. The linebackers, against the run, I think the linebackers are fine because of Vita in front. When Vita's not in, the Falcons tend to have a little more. Anybody have more success? Because I don't like the Bucs' depth on the D line. I would say that. I don't like the Bucs' depth on the D line. Because let me just say this: it's a huge drop off going from Hassan Reddick, Vita, Clancy, and Yaya to Braswell and Logan Hall to Braswell, Gaines. It's not good. We cannot afford. Let me just say this: the Bucs cannot afford any injuries on that D line. They do not have a talent after the starters. They just don't. And I'm not knocking Braswell or anything like that, but they're just not good enough on the D line to hold up. Just because 17 games playing with Logan Hall, Vita, and Clancy as your 3 down linemen, and then Yaya and Hassan Reddick as your outside edge rushers, you're gonna have a hard time holding up for 17 games. And I don't know if the Bucs are gonna make any moves on that D line, but they probably should look into that because Greg Gaines and Braswell, that ain't it. That's Anthony Nelson. Like they didn't really do anything. Like I'm watching the game. I like our starters, even though our starters are not like elite pass rushers. But man, I'm talking about it's a huge drop off. Watching that game, I was like, boy, Vita cannot get hurt. We cannot get hurt. Like Vita cannot get hurt. Yaya Diaby cannot get hurt. Hassan Reddick can't miss games. Clancy can't. Like they cannot miss no games. Even Logan Hall don't miss any games. Try to at least play 15 games. We cannot afford no injuries on the front 5 because that drop off is terrible. I'm talking about really bad. Like I was watching the game, like when our starters wasn't in, when they was getting a break, like for a play or two, like sometimes the Falcons had got success. Penix had some time to throw that ball. And as far as the linebackers stopping the run, they'll be fine. A little concerned about Savassi Dennis, but he's very quick. But if he gets locked on, he's gonna have some issues with some guards. But the pass coverage, the middle of the field was an issue. The flats was an issue. I think Savassi Dennis after week 1, I'm not gonna be too hard on him because he was hurt for a while, but he did look slow. He did look slow. Like covering Bijan, he has some issues. Levante David covering Kyle Pitts had some issues. But Levante David is so savvy, he kind of like his savviness made up for his speed. Like Levante David, his athleticism drop off is very noticeable. Like very noticeable. And also the lack of athleticism with Savassi Dennis is very noticeable in the open space. So that's a concern, even though they did a good job against the run, but I'm just giving y'all the good, the great, the good, bad, and the ugly. I'm just concerned with our linebackers' athleticism. Deion Jones is out there, but he didn't really affect the game in really no shape, way, fashion, or form. He's a backup for a reason. But I'm concerned, and we definitely can't afford any injuries right there. So y'all get where I'm going with this. The Bucs defense, as far as the starters, solid, right? They're not going to be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Pass defense still in question. Collectively rushing the passer still in question. I still got the same questions. The same questions I had going into the season about the Bucs defense is the same questions I have after week 1. They did a great job, but I'm just saying I still got questions. Consistent pass rush almost doesn't count, right? The ability to defend the pass, so they'll work on those things and hopefully they'll clean those up. Secondary did a good job on keeping the Falcons from taking deep shots because there was a period of time during the game I was watching. They was force feeding Drake London. They was really trying to get him the ball. I don't know why Zach Robinson was trying to do that, but the Bucs was on that. Like Zion McCullough, number 35, they were on that. Like, and it didn't help that they didn't have Darnell Mooney. Like Darnell Mooney would have made a difference. But it was easier to focus on Drake London because you didn't have to worry about Raven McLeod because Tyke Smith and Jacob Parrish did a good job guarding the slot. But just from a totality perspective, Michael Penix had a really good game for his 4th start. But just totality, the Bucs did a good job keeping the ball in front of them. So they did a really good job. Despite the fact that, missed opportunities to get some interceptions by Dean, Zion McCullough twice. So that was kind of frustrating that the Bucs, the reason why the Bucs secondary is not good enough to win the Super Bowl, like games like this when to be a top tier secondary, you got to be able to cause turnovers. And this is one of the multiple reasons why I don't look at the Bucs as a top secondary. I never will until I see something different. But they did a good job, even though they was getting diced up in the mid range level. Like the deep balls, I think Penix was less than 40%. He was like 4 for 12 throwing the ball over 10 yards or 15 yards, like 4 for 12, which is good. But from 0 to 10, the Bucs got some issues because of the speed, right? I don't think they're fast enough in the middle. You know, the linebackers are very, very detrimental, very, very key in this defense. And I don't think they're fast enough. Like Lavonte David, speed has dropped off. He does it in spurts now, but he's so good in knowing where to be at, it makes up for his lack of speed now. And then Savassi Dennis, I don't know, he was running like he had a rock on his back. Like that touchdown to Bijan Robinson, I was like, dang, man, he was right there, just tackling. Like Bijan just ran right by him, like he was standing still, like he was running in quicksand. That was kind of disappointing too. And then Kyle Pitts was getting some catches over Lavonte David, and I was like, dang, man, we didn't draft a linebacker for whatever reason. I don't understand why we didn't draft a linebacker. To this point, like now that I saw the first game of the season, in these last 2 seasons, the Bucs should have addressed the linebacker situation. I don't even know why they didn't address the linebacker in 2024 and in 2025 in the draft. I don't even know why they didn't get a veteran young guy or draft a young guy in the first 3 rounds. That's going to be an issue. Just based in one, and I can see that, knowing that I play football, I can see that in one game that the linebacker situation is going to be an issue. Right? And the Bucs will be able to overcome that because the offense will come together, but it's going to be scary. So I wouldn't get mad at Savassi Dennis, and I wouldn't get mad at Lavonte David, but I'm gonna need y'all to put y'all seatbelts on. Just watching the game, put your seatbelts on, because it's gonna be a long season in that middle of the field. Because we lack speed, we lack athleticism to because the defense is not gonna always play great. You know, there will be games where the defense look like crap. We know that. We've seen it for time and time. Even when Brady was here, the defense like, what's this? You know what I'm saying? So there will be games that you're going to see what I'm talking about. Mind you, it's only week 1, but I've watched this defense for multiple years now. And if you're not highly athletic in this defense, you're going to hurt the defense, especially at the linebacker and cornerback and safeties. You got to be quick, be able to diagnose plays right away. And some plays they were just like a step too slow, and it's not good in the NFL. If you a step or too slow, you done. And there were some plays where the defense did a really good job, you know what I'm saying, covering. But then, like I said, also Penix had some time too. And then Penix did escape some sacks too. You know, what else? The second, and as far as the safeties, shout out to Antoine Winfield Jr. with the game-saving pass breakup. On number 82, because 82 was Jamel Dean. I mean, number 35, man. He played good for the most part, but the problem with him is he has his moments where he just forgets about what he's supposed to be doing. Like, he plays good, but then there's some moments where it's like, what are you doing? Number 35, like, there was 2 plays. The play that the Winfield Jr. play that he broke up saved Jamel Dean, because Jamel Dean was like trying to make a decision on should I drop back or should I catch the flats. Like, drop back. Don't worry about the flats. Keep everything in front of you. But he got caught. He got caught in between what to do. But in that situation awareness, he lacks in key moments. This is why he get beat in key moments. He was trying to cover the flat, but the defense was designed to keep everything in front of you. But he got stuck in between on, should I cover the flats or should I drift back and get underneath this seam route, you know, this pocket throw. And he got stuck and his feet got caught up and he slipped, and Penix saw it and drilled it in there. And Winfield Jr. was right there. Right there. Because if Winfield Jr. would have been half a second late, number 82 would have been able to catch the ball and turn his body and get hit. And they would have been down at like 8-yard line with like 12, 13 seconds left. Right. And then the other play, Winfield Jr. didn't save him. When Drake London got hurt, he got a sprained shoulder. He day-to-day, by the way. Penix dropped back, and I don't know what number 35 was thinking, but he literally forgot the game was still going on, and number 4 just ran right by him, and they didn't call pass interference, but a legal contact. They maybe could call it. I don't know, but he got around number 35, and the ball. And when he got around 35, he wasn't looking like when you're running as a receiver. Once you get to the side, once you get next to the cornerback, you got to turn your head. But number 4 didn't turn his head. He got right beside Dean and got past him. And then when he passed him, then he turned his head after the ball went over his head. When you go back and watch that play, folks, if he just turned his head right when he got next to Dean, right when he got next to 35, if he would have turned his head, I promise you, folks, great throw by Penix. That would have been 27-23. I kid you not, folks. Like, I had to go back and watch that play. I'm like, wait a minute, did the Bucs really get by? Like, did the Bucs really escape this for real? I had to go back and watch the play like 50 times. I'm like, if he would have just turned his head when he got by Dean and looked up and stuck his hands out, touchdown. Couldn't believe it. I was like, woo, I'm glad we got that dub. But I had to go back and watch both of those plays. Winfield Jr. saved him on one play. And then in that same sequence, the next play or two, he got beat. It was mind-boggling to see like Dean, like to see number 35 have the lapse of awareness. Oh, shout out Saints full circle, man. J Dub, what's up, man? Tony Lee. But he got away with some illegal contact stuff. All I'm saying is, and we'll get to number 35 in his contract situation, but man, that dude, he is what he is now. Like, he'll play good and then he'll be aloof. I kid you not, folks, go back and watch that play. If he just turned his head, that was a beautiful throw. Like any receiver that was second tier, top tier receiver, that would have been touchdown. If that was Drake London, that was touchdown. Darnell Mooney, touchdown. Kyle Pitts, touchdown. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it was number 4 and he didn't think that the ball was going to come to him. Oh yeah, and then the face mask. Diaby got a sack on a TE stunt. Got a sack. Number 35 with a personal foul face mask. I'm like, oh my gosh, he just does things. It's like key moments for him. Dog, it's like he is not. I'm not saying he's 100% liability, but he has some liability issues. Dog, I kid you not. Hey, Noble OG, I want all you powers and C-bands, go back and watch them. Go back and watch those sequences when Winfield Jr. saved him on the pass breakup, and go back when the ball went over his head and number 4 was behind him. You can hear the whole stadium. The whole stadium saw it. You saw Penix looking over there, and the whole stadium's looking at number 4 Hodge and looking at number 35. And that ball went in the air. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was like, really? And by the time he turned his head, the ball went right by his helmet, right over his head. When he turned his head to look back, the ball was like over his helmet. I was like, oh my gosh, man. If it was a tier 1 receiver or a tier 2 receiver, that was a touchdown. But shoulda, coulda, woulda. Didn't happen. Go see. I saw it in person. Right. But oh yeah, special teams, the good kickoff, or was it kickoff return? What, Cam Johnson? Wasn't it? Well, one or two, but I was just so hyped up. But Chase McLaughlin missed the extra point in a field goal. That was scary, right? That was scary. What else? Siam McCullough had a good game, dropped a couple of interceptions. Winfield Jr. had a solid game. Taki Smith struggled a little bit, but he did okay. Wasn't bad. Jacob Parrish had a solid game. But like I said, the Bucs can clean some of these things up, but I still see the issues from what I've seen in the last couple years. Like nothing has changed as far as what I say about the defense, pass rush, and the ability to cover the middle of the field. If I had to pick out two things defensively that they need to work on, they continue to work on and get better at, is guarding the middle of the field, third downs, and playing it collectively as a unit, as a secondary, and then getting to the quarterback. Because Todd Bowles, he was trying to let the front four get there, or front five, the outside two edge rushers and the 3D linemen. But Todd Bowles, he can't help it. He can't help it. Mike Evans had a quiet day because the Falcons, like I said, the Falcons defense played really well. They did not let Mike Evans get off, but they forgot about Emeka. Sterling Shepard had some good catches, some really key catches. Cade Otton was a non-factor. Non-factor at all. Cade Otton was not a factor. You know what I'm saying? So that was very disappointing. Rashad White was not a factor in the passing game, which was disappointing for OC. Bucky, wasn't a factor, and Sean Tucker got like 1 or 2 carries. It was just kind of like, dang, man, But overall, like I said, I give the Bucs a C. Even though they got the dub, I still got to grade them I still got to grade them as a team. But like I said, we got the dub. That's what matters. But this is just football talk. I'm just breaking it down. Football talk. I'm not trying to be like, oh, the Bucs are terrible. No. But I'm just pointing out the things that I saw that they need to improve on, they need to work on, or that I have concerns on. I got concerns, like I said, secondary as far as collective unit. Still got issues with the pass rush because, like, Bowles had to keep blitzing. He was trying to speed up Penix's thought process, but I'm not going to quote Baker Mayfield, but I'm going to paraphrase what Baker Mayfield said about Michael Penix. Now, you can believe what you want to believe about Michael Penix, because I'm a football fan. But from what I saw in that game, and Baker can't play forever. Penix is 24, Baker's 30, right? Baker probably got about a good 2 to 3, maybe 4 years left in him at this level, if he don't get hurt. But when I tell you this, folks, Baker Mayfield saw it. Baker Mayfield, and like I said, I don't mind listening to fans, but I like to go by what the football players say. Like, Ron DeBarro talking about our pass rush. But Baker Mayfield, and I'm paraphrasing, he got it. Poise, leadership, situational awareness. He got the arm. Baker was like, he got the it. Baker Mayfield said that. And Baker Mayfield been playing quarterback, what, for 9 years in the NFL? And he was like, this dude, for start, he's going to be a problem. I'm paraphrasing, but Baker Mayfield admitted it. Baker Mayfield was right there on the field watching him. And I was in the stands watching Michael Penix. I'm like, this dude's going to be a real problem. If the Bucs, and I say this, in that game against the Bucs last night or Sunday, even though the Falcons didn't win, the Falcons got to feel good about their quarterback situation for the future. Now, this is just a football fan talking, right? This is me talking about football. But from what Baker Mayfield saw and what a lot of people saw around the NFL about Michael Penix, the dude is going to be a problem. But the issue with the Falcons, remember now, I'm pivoting off of the Bucs talk. I'm talking about football. The problem with the Falcons is, because I can talk about all 31 teams, the other 31 teams. I'm that versatile. I'm that type of dude. I'm that type of football fan. I could talk about the other 31 teams like this. The problem with the Falcons is the coaching. Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson. I don't know if they're going to be able to get him to the next level. I don't know. That's the question mark. He's got the talent. They got Bijan. They got Drake London. They got Moody. They got the decent O-line. But Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, I don't know. Especially Raheem Morris. Because he still got some issues with coaching. He still got to figure that out. But as far as Michael Penix and what Baker Mayfield said about him, and what I'm saying about it, and amongst other NFL media members and talking heads talking about Michael Penix, he got it. He got it. When you look at the quarterbacks with J.J. McCarthy and Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, like all the young quarterbacks, Bo Nix, all these quarterbacks in their first and second years, I got to put Penix right behind Jaden Daniels. I got to put Penix right behind Jaden Daniels. Yep, I'm going to put him in front of Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams. I'm going to put Penix right behind Jalen Daniels. Yep. Give it probably, I would say, probably about, if he stays healthy, probably about a week 10, we're going to be like, man, I'm glad we beat them early. If they get that right tackle figured out and that left guard kind of figured out, and they get that boy some time, because they wanted to take some shots down the field, but he didn't have enough time. And there was some guys kind of breaking open. But if they get that figured out, he going to be a problem. And all they got to do is just draft around him. That's all they got to do now. That's all they got to do. Because he is a quarterback. Like, if I had to rank all the quarterbacks, where would I put Baker? I'll still put Baker like top 12, but I'll put Penix not too far behind Baker. Like, I'll put Penix between like 15 and 18. I think he's better than Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. I'm talking about right now. He better than Justin Fields. He better than Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy. He better than Bo Nix. He better than Cam Ward. He better than Sam Darnold, based on what I saw. I watched all the games. He better than Bryce Young. He better than Spencer Rattler. I'm just saying, folks. I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. And I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence fan. He better than Drake May. From what I saw after week 1, and I'm glad we beat them early. He better than Kyler Murray. Yep, he better than Kyler Murray. So that puts him in the 15 to 19 range already. And remember now, this is 4th game start. So imagine he get a full season as a starter. He better than Tua, like right now. He better than Tua. So he's in front of the bottom 10. So that puts him between 15 and 19. So my assessment is pretty good. And I'm glad we beat them first game of the season. I'm glad we did. You know, I'm glad we beat the Falcons first game of the season. I'm glad that was a good test for the Bucs. The Bucs passed the test with a C. Every victory counts. Whether it's 3 points, 1 point, 2 points, every victory counts. Oh yeah, he played better than golf. Yeah, he played better than golf this weekend. Remember, folks, he's only started 4 games. So we're gonna have fun as the Bucs fans. We're gonna have fun with Michael Penix in the next 10 years, or at least next 8 to 10 years. We're gonna have fun playing against that dude. Yep, better than Brock Purdy. He played better than him too. Yep. We're gonna have fun. That's gonna be a fun matchup. You know, Bucs defense versus Michael Penix these next 8 to 10 years. It's gonna be fun to watch that. It's gonna be fun. You know, I'm gonna have a good time. Overall, though, like I said, I give the Bucs a C. They passed. They passed, and y'all ain't gotta believe me. Y'all don't have to believe me about Michael Penix. That's fine. That's cool. Just watch the game. Just watch the game. You know. The going against that defense, going against the Tabos defense, and he was like 27 for like 40 for like 270, 280. That's really good. And your 4-star. I mean, not too many quarterbacks can do that in their 4th start against a chaotic defense. The Bucs defense is very chaotic. The Bucs defense speeds quarterbacks up, especially on third down. But my last talking point here is number 35. Oh yeah, as far I think the Bucs need to get I think to me, if the Bucs want to reach the NFC South, I mean NFC Championship or Super Bowl, I just think that they gotta add one more pass rusher. Just one more. Maybe I mean might be able to get a linebacker. I don't know, but I just think that they're just missing probably one more because I think that'll help Diaby and also Hassan Reddick. I really do. And there might be some guys available because, like King Cook pointing out, the Dolphins are about to implode. And they got a couple guys on that team I can think that can help the Bucs. Chubb, Chop, Phillips. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It just even the Browns about to implode too. Who else about to implode? That might have some players available. The Bears, the Giants. You know what I'm saying? Like Thibodeau. You know, I don't know. I just watching the game. Like I said, the goal is to get to the quarterback. When you got the blitz like Todd Bowles did Sunday, that's not good. That's not going to be good long term because the more and more tape you get on Todd Bowles, the better you're going to go against the defense, right? Because Todd Bowles can only disguise that defense, but so much, you know. But just one more pass rush. It wouldn't hurt. Like if the Bucs trying to get to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, I'm not going to worry about the offense. Tristan's going to get healthy. Godwin's going to get healthy. J Mac's going to get healthy. We're going to be fine there. But there's going to be moments where we're going to have to get a stop because we saw the Ravens score 40 points and still lose because the defense couldn't stop a cold. Right? So we might be in a couple games like that this season that the Bucs score 30 points and still lose 33-30. Right? So just keep that in mind, folks. Let's talk about this number 35. He took a significant, they say a contract restructure, but it was a pay cut. The Bucs literally after the game, this how you know it's bad. And let me ask y'all this question, see if y'all pick up on it. Do you know the reason why you would take that type of contract restructure? Does anybody know why he did that? Does anybody know why number 35 did that much of a contract restructure, quote unquote, or significant pay cut? Do y'all know why? Let's see if anybody knows. Let's talk football business right quick for the next 7 minutes, real quick. Does anybody know why he did that? Because to take that type of pay cut, it tells me one thing and one thing only. It wasn't no like slight, push a couple $1 million down the road. No, it was significant. Oh, some people got it right. Some people got it right. $8 million? $8 million? The restructuring? Man, come on, bro. And then they turned that $8 million, went from 12.5 cap hit to 4.5 or 4.25. And then they gave him some incentives to, like, I guess, boost it up a little bit. But if for those of you that don't know, when you take that type of pay cut, you either get cut or you take the pay cut. This is after the game, folks. This was after the game. You can't justify him. You can't justify paying 35, 12.5 million. They told him, basically, they told him and his agent, look, we like you, but at this pay, we got to cut you. They saw the game. They saw the game just like I did, and they saw the game just like y'all did. The face mask, the misjudging the pass breakup by Winfield Jr. Luckily, Winfield Jr. is an instinctive safety. And then at the end of the game, you could have lost the game. You could have lost that game if number 4 turned his head. He was about to get cut, folks. $1 million in incentives. They're not even going to let him earn the $8 million back. Damn. The organization likes Benjamin Morrison. He's coming back next week, folks. They came to him and said, hey, man, you don't draft the cornerback in the second round or even the third round and say, we're not going to play them. Now, you gave Zion McCullough 3 year, $48 million, $35 million guaranteed. You drafted 2 cornerbacks, because Parrish can play cornerback too. But Benjamin Morse did a really good job when he played in camp. And they like what they see in him. Better ball skills, better technique, better awareness. And they saw this coming. This was going to happen regardless, folks. If number 4 would have turned around and caught that touchdown, I think Jamel Dean would have been cut. I think number 35 would have been cut after that game. The organization is very high on Benjamin Morris. That's why you see that pay cut. They are not afraid to get rid of number 35 because they also have Jacob Parrish. He can play on the outside too. He took a significant pay cut, and they terminated his contract in 2026. The final year of his contract got terminated. Think about that. That's a lot, folks. $8 million pay cut. Only $1 million in incentives to earn back. And they terminated your 2026 contract, meaning it doesn't matter what he does this season. To be honest with you, he's gone. You just paid Zion McCullough. And you drafted Benjamin Morris, and you got Jacob Parrish, who can play on the outside too. Jamel Dean is good as gone. They're not going to fork up a lot of money for him. Even if he stay with the Bucs, it'll be like the same contract because he will not be a starter next year. I will say that. I go on record. Barring significant injury with Benjamin Morris or Jacob Parrish, number 35 will not be starting for the Bucs, whether he's on the team or not. He will be a free agent in 2026. And the Bucs can move on with him with no problem. Even if he have a big season, you still not going to pay him. Landon, what's up, man? Third-matic. You still not, because his arrow is not ascending up. And also, Big Bang Hank. I was just about to put this on. I was just about to say this. That also makes number 35 a trade possibility to somebody looking for cornerback help. See, the incentives, they can block that by just playing Benjamin Morris. And the Bucs saved about $3 million in salary cap this season. So they saved about $3 million for 2025 salary cap. And now the Bucs got $7 million extra to play with. So they can go get a pass rusher. And the Bucs avoid future dead cap charges. So you won't be stuck paying number 35 money after 2025. But he is trade bait too. So at the age of 29, your arrow pointing down this offseason coming up, somebody will sign him. But he won't get a long-term deal for the Bucs. The Bucs are transitioning to younger cornerbacks. Benjamin Morris, Jacob Parrish. They're doing it right now. They're not waiting until March 1st. They're doing it right now. And he's very much a tradable asset. You can package him in a 5th round to get a veteran pass rusher. You can package him in a 6th round to get a 4th round pick. Somebody gonna need a corner. Somebody gonna need cornerback help. The Dolphins, right? You know, they drafted 2 guys. This thing about y'all to understand. When the Bucs drafted 2 guys this past draft, that should have told you everything about Jamel Dean, about number 35. That's a wild pay cut. They only going to give him an opportunity to earn $1 million of that $8 million that he lost. He has no future dead money after the season. No future dead money. And now, mind you, that $7 million, they can make moves to get a guy. They can make a mid-season. I'm telling you, this is all set up. And Jason Light might be shrewd for this. He might be a shrewd GM if he does this. If he does this correctly, he can get a 4th round pick for this by trading Jamel 35 to a team, or he can package him in that little contract to go get a veteran pass rusher in the middle of the season. Because if things don't get better with the pass rush, there's one of your chess pieces right there. And you got $7 million. You got $7 million this season to play with. You know what I'm saying? They can make a move. They might make 2 moves. But they don't do that for no reason, folks. The Bucs got $18 million in cap space after that move. Overthecap.com. Spotter Track got the Bucs at $21 million as of right now. So tell me if I'm wrong that the Bucs not gonna make no move. You don't have that money sitting there and say I'm not gonna do nothing with it. Especially if you are a team that's trying to contend to get to the NFC South champion, the NFC championship, and then Super Bowl. You got money to make something happen. You can go get 2 people with that 18 to $21 million. You literally can. I want to see Jason Light do something. If you believe in this team, Jason Light, I need you to make a shrewd move. Make the move. Whether it's pass rusher, linebacker, make the move. 18 to $21 million available. And you got a tradable asset. Make the move. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got to say. We're at an hour, a little over an hour. That's pretty much my range moving forward. 0 to 60 minutes. I'm a little over. Shouts out to all the Powers Sea Bandits. Thank you for joining Buckles Locker. You know, we want to know. That's what matters. You know what I'm saying? We making moves, obviously, right? And we'll talk more in detail about number 35 and Zion McCullough and other things like that. I might make a video tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I think it'd be a good video tomorrow to make, to go more and maybe open the locker room a little bit. We can talk about the game a little bit. Just hear everybody's thoughts after week 1. Now that, you know, a couple days have passed by. With that being said, fire those cannons, seize the day, raise the flag. Hashtag tough. Hashtag well earned. Hashtag what are we doing with 35? Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't play the game. I just watch it and talk about it. Hashtag why. Hashtag what is this? Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag probability versus possibility. Hashtag no excuses. Hashtag what does your eyes tell you? Hashtag trenches matter. And particularly hashtag D-line. And hashtag outside pass rush. Buckles Locker signing out. I'll talk to y'all soon. Deuces.